Hello, it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and today I'm designing a layout for Bramble Fox. And I'm going to be using items from the store for this layout. So I've got the seasonal cups perspectives, and I'm also going to be using Fox cut number 28, which is this gorgeous stencil here. And I'm still kind of scrapping through my Christmas photos, will be for quite a while. So I've got this lovely photo of my little boy drinking a festive hot chocolate. Just giving you a quick close-up of those perspectives there. They are stunning. You get 6 in the pack. You get 2 kind of matte red, 2 matted green, and then you get a red and a green mirrored perspective as well, which are really pretty, bring a bit of sparkle to the page. So using the kind of colour scheme that Perspectives have given me, I'm going to be using the November 21 Hip Kit Club kits for this layout, and I've pulled out what I've got left in the red and green tones to match my perspectives. So I've started off by drawing a line across the centre of my page. It's probably about a third of the way down, and that's where I'm going to build my design. And I'm going for quite a minimalist look on this layout. I want to have lots of white space. And I'm not really using any patterned papers. I'm just going to use ephemera and a couple of journaling cards. So I've added some colour to my background using that Fox cut number 28 stencil, and I've just used a couple of ink pads and a blending brush, and the colour goes through those stencils really easily, really well, and I love the effect it gives. Nice crisp clear image. So I've just added a few kind of, they're almost like firework design, just colour bursts on my page using red and green inks to match my colour scheme. Then I've matted my photo onto some white cardstock just to give it a bit of a frame and a border, and to separate it from anything else that I put underneath it. And then I've added, I'm going to add a couple of journaling cards underneath. So I've done a green one that's got kind of a bit of red washi tape up the top, and then I'm going to do a red one behind that, again just sticking with the red and green tones. So now, like I said, I've drawn a line across the page, so I'm going to build my layout on that line. I'm using that as a guide, kind of like a washing line if you like, and I'm going to have all of my embellishments sitting or hanging from that line. So I've got a couple of stickers there I've used either end. Those are lovely little bows, red on one side and green on the other. I've got a couple of chipboard flare, a couple of holly sprigs. I've got a lovely green hot chocolate mug there, red stocking, just lots of red and green things, and small things was what I was focusing on because I want to have them all hanging or sitting across that line. Then I've used a chipboard piece for my title that says Happy Holidays. I'm going to have that sitting just underneath the line, just bringing that design down a bit. I've also used the metal dies that I got in my December hip kit, and I've just cut a couple of kind of small little banner tag type pieces in the red and green papers just to sit along that line. And the idea is I'm going to have all these embellishments along that line, and then I'm going to stitch through them all with my sewing machine. And I wasn't sure how that was going to work because I've got 2 chipboard flare on that line, but actually my sewing machine went through them with no issue. I was really surprised at that, pleasantly surprised might I add. But yeah, the idea is I'm going to have all these things on the line and then stitch through it with some black thread just for a little bit of drama, just to bring a little bit of black in. And then once all of that is in place, I'm going to have my perspectives sat on top. Obviously I can't stitch through those, so I'm just going to have those sat on top, scattered along that line. And now I've got my perspectives and embellishments and everything, the placement of those sorted, I can see where I need to add a bit more of this stenciling in. I've covered most of it up, which quite often happens with mixed media, but I can just see that I need to add a little bit more, and I'm bringing that colour down a little bit as well, and having a bit around my title there, and around the edge of my photo, just so that that definitely shows. And I love the subtle look that gives. It's not mad mixed media, it's not loads of colour that's taken away from anything else on the page, it's just a little bit of subtle colour on the background there. And now I'm going to get my sewing machine out. I'm going to skip through this because it's rather boring. There we go. So I had to take my white thread off and change it for the black, and stitch through that. And I've done 2 lines. I'm kicking myself really because as I got over to the right hand side, I couldn't really see my pencil line anymore because I'd covered it up with embellishments. So I kind of veered off my line a bit. So my line isn't exactly straight now. If I hadn't have told you, you probably never would have known, but I can see it and it bugs me, which is just typical. It just kind of veers up a little bit on the right hand side, but never mind, it's done now, nothing I can do about it, and I'm certainly not going to redo the layout. But yeah, just one of those little things that's going to bug me. But I've got my perspectives in place now, and I've used 5 of the 6 little seasonal cups from that pack. I've got the red and green mirrored ones on there, and then I've got a couple more green and another one of the red matte ones, and I love how those look. They're just little tiny embellishments, nothing over the top, but because they're such a solid colour, and especially those mirrored ones with that sparkle, they do just stand out from the background and all those embellishments, and I love the way that they just sit on the page. I love mini perspectives. You can just nestle them in and add them in clusters, just have them subtly placed without sort of making a huge statement on the page. It's probably my favourite type of Bramble Fox perspective, if I'm honest. I love all the little things that you can tuck here and there, and you can get loads on a page as well without overcrowding it too much, so perfect for that. Just finishing up here, I've just added a couple more embellishments in. So I've got a puffy sticker that says hot cocoa. I've made a fabric bow up that I've just sat at the top of my photo. I think I just have a quick flick through what I've got left of this collection and just add a couple more bits in. So these are like clear postage stickers here. I had a couple of those in. I think one says North Pole and the other one I kind of slot under my title. I can't remember what it said on it, but it wasn't really relevant to this layout, so I've stuck most of it under the title so you can just see the bottom of the design there. And then I'm just going to add some foam pads under my photo just to bring in a bit of dimension there and have it raised up a bit. Didn't want to raise the top up because I knew I was going to stitch along the top. So I've just raised the bottom up there. And that's pretty much me done for today. So quite a quick layout for me, very minimalistic. That was the look I was going for. I just wanted to follow that line across and have loads of little things making up my layout today with lots of white space. But I love the traditional red and green colour scheme of this layout, and it went with those perspectives perfectly. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this layout and it's given you some inspiration. It's a kind of less is more kind of layout from me. I will pop a link in the description box below to the products I've used from the Bramble Fox store, and also to our Bramble Fox Friends Facebook group. So if you're not already a member, head over there and join. You can take part in our monthly challenge where you can win a voucher to spend in the store. So do check that out. But thanks again for joining me. I'll leave you with the last few close-ups and I'll see you next time.